What's going on, people? That's a little blast from the past. It's the Overlook Drive-In. Tuesday, February the 28th, 2023. Mike ruined my fucking week, so fuck that guy. He's gone. Tells me Scream doesn't come out this week. That guy. Unbelievable.
I mean, I can lie to you.
I was all excited. I thought, and I know some people that listen to this channel or watch this channel, depending on how you get it, might be surprised to hear me say it. Like, I'm legitimately excited for the Scream movie. Like, I think they have marketed it and presented it in a way that is really fucking good. And now it's just a matter, is the movie any good? Which is pretty important. We'll see. But I thought it was this week, and then Mike tells me it's not. Joining me as always, host of the Take One podcast, co-host of the Four Wide podcast, Mr. Mike Bish. What's going on, man?
In a little bit of a better mood than you are. Sorry to burst your bubble on that one. Better mood than I was last week. My drivers for our fantasy team, I at least had 2 finish in the top 10, so I needed that. Everybody else can go fuck themselves, sitting there complaining about their drivers having bad weeks. You're okay. Are you in last? No, you're not. So be quiet. Anyways, it's been a good.
My guy just got fucked. That's all. He got royally fucked by Ryan Blaney, who couldn't keep his car off a wall. So,
yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Vegas is a different story though, so I'm sure your guy bounced back. But no, man, I'm doing good. Excited to be here. Can't believe we're a week away from. Listen, first off, let me say this. For me personally, I'm very excited for. I think we're getting a good March. Now, will the movies live up to the hype? I don't know. But we started off with Cocaine Bear, which we'll talk about. Then this week, a couple days, Creed 3, which I've heard is really good. I saw John Campea really like that movie. Then we get Scream. Then we get John Wick. And I think I'm actually going to go check out Dungeons and Dragons, man. I don't know how that's going to be, but I think I'm going to go check that out. I know I'm skipping a week, and the week that I'm skipping is Shazam, but I got to be honest with you, just not that interested in it. So other than that, I think, man, it's been a hell of a run for movies for March. It's a good March.
I got to tell you, you're far more forgiving to some of these movies than I am. Far more forgiving than to some of these movies than I am. Yeah, I have no interest in Shazam, and in terms of Creed,
me neither.
Creed 3 is one of those unfortunate things where if you're a like just an average going moviegoer who doesn't follow movie news online or anything like that, you're probably going to go into it and really like it. But if you're someone that's had to listen to the drama behind the scenes and the falling out and just the fact that Stallone's randomly missing from the movie and again, it's not Rocky, it's Creed, make no mistake about it. But it wasn't done for creative reasons. It was done because of personal drama, and there's a lot of that stuff going on Yellowstone too. My God,
I don't know what that personal drama is because
it's not with Michael B. Jordan.
Well, I was gonna say I know they've talked highly of each other, so I don't know. Obviously, they're just the actors, even though he's Michael B. Jordan's directing it. I think one of the things that I'm interested in most, I don't know if we'll ever catch that. I enjoy both Creed movies so far. I don't know if we'll ever get that magic from the first one that we got. Just something about that grit, that I don't know. It just kind of felt like that first Rocky in a sense, if that makes sense. The dark tone, the grit. I really like that. I would say the most thing what I'm looking forward to most about this, obviously not having Sly in there is very disappointing for me. Big fan. But I'm interested to see how Michael B. Jordan is going to be as far as directorial debut. More importantly, the fight scenes I heard were really good. They were shot in IMAX. And he said that he used a lot of his shots, selections and stuff like that, the fight scenes, based off anime. He's a big anime guy. So I don't know, that kind of interests me more, than anything. So, anytime I guess I can go see an IMAX movie, despite the money that it is, I'll try to go see it. Cause you might be breaking your wallet a little bit to go do that.
I heard the movie shot extremely well, that the fights in it are very well done. heard the story, it does not hold up to the first two movies at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
But that's kind of to be expected too, though. I mean, so it's not one I'm going to see in theaters, even though it's an IMAX. I got to be kind of picky here at the moment, but I will eventually check it out. I did see two in theaters. I don't remember if it was in IMAX or not, or if it had an IMAX transition. I don't think it was shot in IMAX.
I didn't get to see either one of them in IMAX. I don't know if they were, but if they were, I wasn't able to see it.
I really enjoyed the second movie. I thought it was very, very good. And in terms of John Wick, I know those movies are apparently amazing. I've only seen the first one. I loved it. Eventually, on a rainy day, I will see the other ones.
Well, that's what I did. I was very late, even to the first one. I actually just watched it a couple months ago when I was sick for about 4 or 5 days. I just laid in bed and watched them. I was actually shocked I don't want to say shocked how good they were, but because everybody, talks about the movies, it's just for some reason I was just never interested in them. And it just turned out to be a series of movies that for whatever reason I didn't watch and I was kind of missing out on. So,
Yeah, no, for sure. Everybody has their bunch. I'd never seen Harry Potter until a couple years ago, and we binged like the entire set in like 2 or 3 days. So it was good. It was fun. It was good fun. There's a lot going on right now. We just finished a Patreon show. I'll give you a little tease on what that was about with this little thumbnail here. That's over on our Patreon, patreon.com/Phantom Empire. Tommy joined me for that one. And I'll touch a little bit on something that sort of affects that is there's about to be a big writer strike in Hollywood that's going to affect movies and TV shows. That if your TV show is scheduled to, you know, tentatively come out on X date in the next year, I want to back that up a bit because these things get ugly and they last a while.
would that affect? I don't know nothing about it, so I just want to ask you: would that affect, like, let's just say, Stranger Things season 5 is supposed to start filming in May, I think. So that would affect it. Okay,
It
gotcha.
depends. Like it all depends on how satisfied they are with the script. If a lot of productions, movies, TV shows, script changes on set a lot. You will not have that person on set. So then you run into union issues. There are certain we talked about on our give you a little bit of a sneak peek on our Patreon show, Lambkin Lane, about how the Halloween movie franchise hasn't always used people in the Writers Guild.
Are you are you talking about like that writer wouldn't be on set?
Correct,
S-
but
s-
it can also just stall entire productions.
Okay, and I guess that's what my next question was. Being that the Duffer Brothers are the writers and the directors and creators, I guess that would affect all of it. Now, again, they have a writing room. Now, the bigger the seasons outside of season 1, they've gotten a group of writers together. So I don't know. Just trying to. I've never heard of that before. I did hear what you're talking about, but
So I forget what year it was. I'm guessing here. I think it was 2007. There was a big writer's strike. To give you an idea, Supernatural used to be a 22 to 23 episode season back in the day. That writer's strike shrunk that season down to about 14 because of how long they were off. Um, so I don't know how that works though. When you get the creators of the show who are also the head writers of the show, the problem is, if you don't follow what the union says, you risk being booted from the union,
yeah, yeah.
and it gets ugly. And it's probably one of the reasons, honestly, HBO has come out and said, "Hey, yeah, House of the Dragon, August 2024," which is frustrating and far away. But these things affect movies, TV shows, and we're all almost guaranteed to have one show affected by it, unless there's a few circumstances where certain franchises have gone ahead and put projects into development. I don't want to say prematurely because it was intentionally, um, in order to just have something done so that when this strike happens, if it lasts too long and they're getting ready to put something to film, it's already done. There's not, oh, well, we still have to write it and we got to wait on this and we got to wait on that. If Stranger Things is completely done writing and they're satisfied, they'll be fine. But if they're not, if they're where House of the Dragon is, where cameras are about to roll, but we've already had it confirmed they haven't finished writing it yet either, then you run into problems.
So the last thing I'll say on that is, and I'm glad you brought that up. Outside of season 4, they were continuing writing while they were filming. The only reason they were able to complete season 4 writing was because of the pandemic. So they wrote all the scripts before they ever started filming, but that is the only season that has happened. Now, will that happen for season 5? I don't know that.
So the season that took so long to come out for various reasons, they still weren't technically done writing it while filming it?
No, season 4 they were. That's the only season they were because of the pandemic.
Oh,
That's the only season that they finished writing all 8 scripts or 9 scripts. So.
There's a big difference between going to set and making changes and going to set and legitimately not having parts of your story, and sometimes that happens.
See, like for me, and of course I've never been in that situation, but for me, I would feel stressed as fuck and under the microscope to only have 4 episodes written and done while filming as well. Like I would rather have all my episodes written. Now, obviously that rarely happens, it sounds like, but man, that just seems like added stress not to have the scripts done while you're still filming. Because the Duffer Brothers were directing too. So when the fuck are you gonna, like, what are you doing? Are you living off Red Bulls and caffeine?
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. Heath says, I will say I'm even wanting to see the Super Mario project.
I'm sure Shawn is too, but going there a certain way.
I'm looking forward to that movie, actually. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Me too. I forgot about that. I don't know. Is that a March release, Shawn? I think it is.
I have no idea, if I'm being honest.
I think it is.
Kenny says, I remember the writer's strike 2007/2008. That was bad. It affected a lot of shows at that time. It sure as fuck did. You're absolutely right, Kenny. All right, Mike, let's talk about it, man. We went to see it. Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear, man. All right. I guess I'll just go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, that's going to be, followed up with the sequel to Cocaine Bear.
Man. Talk about great artwork.
Oh, totally, right? Yeah, definitely. Actually, we were in the middle of the Patreon show, and Dean and Chris, one of our Patreon supporters and one of our sponsors, and admins even, were joking around about Cocaine Mike, so I whipped it together during the show. But no, we went to see Cocaine Bear, man.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, dude, I left that movie theater more happy than I do seeing most movies I go to see.
Yeah, man, I left the theater happy too. I think for a couple of reasons. I think if we sit down here and we really break things down, was the acting great? For me personally, I didn't think so. Was the story all niched and put together perfectly? I didn't think so. But listen, man, I knew what I was going in and what I was hoping to get and most likely going to get. That was a bear that was jacked up on cocaine going around killing people. And I can tell you, walking out of the theater, I left with a smile. I left satisfied. And I can tell you, my one complaint is I probably would have liked to have seen a little bit more bear on screen. But other than that, man, like, I had fun with it. It was a good time. My favorite scene was when the bear was chasing the ambulance. I thought that was fucking phenomenally done. It was super cool. I thought the comedic relief in it was really good. I thought the kid actors were really good, especially the little boy. I don't know, man. It was funny. It was funny. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. So it's a movie that I definitely really, really enjoyed. I think it's my second or third ranked movie that I've seen this year, which is pretty good for a movie called Cocaine Bear. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't even looked to see what the numbers were, but I felt like this was a movie that a lot of people were talking about going to see. So I wouldn't be shocked if this movie does actually very, very well in the box office.
Well, I am pulling that up now, and it came second to Ant-Man Quantumania. It made $23.3 million. Sorry, it's up to 30 million worldwide at this point, and it's on a pretty good trend. So I think it'll be something that I wouldn't be surprised to see it end up at anywhere from 70 to $100 million worldwide. It's
Yep.
I think this is a movie where word of mouth is going to help. Where say, hey, it's not just stupid. Like, it's stupid, but there's acting talent in the movie. It's shot well. I thought there'd be a little more of a horror element to it. I feel like the trailers presented that. But we knew it was going to be humorous too. It's called Cocaine Bear. Um, I thought there'd be a little more of an even split, but I'd say I left that movie going, well, that was like 85% comedy, 15% horror. But you know what? It really worked out for what the movie was, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm sure I'll get some hate for this. Not trying to hate on the movie, but
Here we go.
yeah,
Make this some
yeah,
clickbait.
yeah. I said on Lampkin Lane that Cocaine Bear, in every way, is a better movie than Halloween Ends
Oh,
outside of the score. I'm not going to go that far, but you take the score away and the sound design, and Cocaine Bear literally wins every other category for me.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'll say this. I'll say this. You said what you said, I'll say this on my part. I enjoyed Cocaine Bear a lot more than I did Halloween Ends. So
Yeah, I think that's fair. Matt says Cocaine Michael Myers. He says I was entertained by it. The lady in the shot she took at the Rangers.
oh my god, yeah.
I
Oh man. Hey, I'll tell you what though. You want to talk about in a couple of months a good watch along.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, get baked on air and watch that. Someone call 191. I agree with that from a trilogy standpoint. That's fair, man. Totally fair. If they do a sequel, don't call it Cocaine Bear Relapse. I will not be happy.
I think they're done. I don't think there's going to be a sequel. I
Yeah,
think this is a one and done, and I think that's a good decision.
yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, it's really as much as it was Elizabeth Banks movie, it's also a Lord and Miller movie. She had some massive guidance by those two. If you don't know who Lord and Miller are, they're supposed to do Solo. They did Into the Spider-Verse. They've done I think they did the 21 Jump Street movies. 21 and 22 Jump Street. So it's not like they're new to stuff like this. So Mr. Pika says they've seen it an hour ago, Mike. Did you enjoy it? I thought it was very entertaining. I hadn't seen a movie in theaters in a while, and as someone who's been in need of a kick in the ass and a real uplifting, it was fun to leave that movie and go, yeah, this was a good time. I don't know if you're talking, Mike. You're muted.
Oh no, I wasn't. I was just actually looking. Yeah, so I have this movie ranked second behind Megan this year that has come out. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Again, had it at 3.5 stars on Letterboxd out of 5. I would say, Shawn, I kind of walked out of it enjoying it a little bit more than I probably thought I would, to be honest.
Oh, me too. I expected to have a couple of laughs, and that'd be it. But like not only was the movie good, the theater experience was booming. Like,
Oh man, I'm glad you brought that up. Man, the theater experience was phenomenal. And one of the crazy things is I don't get this. I rarely get this. I think I got it during Spider-Man, and I got it after. Yeah, I think Spider-Man was the last movie. But there were 2 people that clapped at the end of fucking Cocaine Bear, no lie, in my theater, and I loved it. I loved it. People had a good time with this in the theater that I was in. So very, very good theater experience for me, and I'm glad for you too.
I just want to give a shout out to the Star Wars alumni in that movie, Mr. O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Alden Ehrenreich. Their chemistry in the movie was Really, really good and
Yeah.
funny, those two together. I really enjoyed seeing that. And then a big shout out, obviously, to Ray Liotta, who recently passed away. I didn't even know he was in the movie, man. So for me, that was a surprise, and it was cool to see him again. And again, it's just, hey, if you want to have a good time and like feel good after a movie, not go there. And some movies are deep. Like I've seen the only two movies I've seen since Halloween Ends are the re-release of Titanic and Cocaine Bear. And even though Titanic was a re-release, it's still a heavy movie. It's something that happened in real life, and
Yeah.
many people died, due to ignorance. So um, it's nice to leave a movie and not have like those kind of thoughts stirring in your head. Just be like, bear on cocaine. That's funny. It was a good time. I do want to address one thing you said though. Hear me out here.
Here
You
we
said
go.
you said lack of the bear, right?
Yeah.
I thought I agreed with you because I think you've said it to me twice now. I thought I agreed with you. And then the more I thought about it, and the more I thought about movies like Jaws and the original Halloween and the original Star Wars, it's like the monster's not in it a whole heck of a lot. He's talked about a lot. He's referenced a lot. It's sort of about him or her.
Good point. Very good point. I mean,
Still, I would have liked a few more kills. That would have been cool. But I
yeah.
understand holding back on showing the bear. I thought we were going to get a bear post credit scene, but there isn't one. There's a couple other ones, but no bear post credit.
Yeah, I agree. Good movie though. I enjoyed it.
Uh, all right, let's move on, man. Scream 3, dude. What was your first experience like with this movie? I got a bit of a story for mine, but you go first.
Nothing really crazy, man. I just, honestly, I don't even think I really remember watching this movie for the first time. Um, I would say, my most like the first memory that comes to mind is I watched this movie with a group of friends, um, in high school, I believe, or maybe I can't remember. But it was, I think it was middle school, man, and I just remember having like just the boys over. We had pizza, just kind of chilling, hanging out, watching Screen 3. I've just kind of, I guess I don't want to say overall review of it. I'll just say that before I get your first experience on it, I'll just say that I enjoy this movie a lot more than a lot of people do. So, and then we'll obviously talk about that here in a second. But what's your story you got?
So, it's pretty young when Scream came out. Scream, the whole trilogy I was young for. Couldn't see it in theaters. Went up and went to my local Blockbuster. Well, I'm trying to get out of there with the movie, and you need a parent. And I literally, kid you not, literally lied to the guy working at Blockbuster, pointed to some random guy who happened to be looking at me. I'm like, that's my dad. And the guy just looks at me, didn't say anything. And I was able to use the Blockbuster card, pay for my movie, and get out of there. I've heard of all sorts of things like people buying tickets to a different movie, and then instead of walking in that theater, they'd walk into another showing.
Yeah, I got kicked out doing that one time. So bad
Question:
experience.
what did you get kicked out for?
Man, I really wish I could. It's gonna bother me. I'm trying to remember. I just remember it was me and a friend. And we had a double date. We were in high school. Um, God, it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to text this friend during this episode and see if he can text me back so I can remember the movie. But I remember that they had got there first and they bought their tickets. And by the time we got there, the movie was quote unquote sold out. So we bought tickets for another movie. And then we walked in, and I don't know how they knew, but next thing we know, we had two police officers come and ask to see our tickets, and we ended up getting kicked out of the movies. So not the funnest experience.
Yeah, everybody gets caught doing something once in a while, right? Scream 3 released February 4th, 2000. Directed by Wes Craven, written by help me out here. Aaron Kruger?
We'll go with that.
Ehren. And characters by Kevin Williamson, produced by Kathy Conrad, Kevin Williamson, and Marianne Delaney. I don't know. Starring David Arquette, Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, Patrick Dempsey, Jenny McCarthy, Parker Posey, Dean Richmond, and Carrie Fisher. Edited by Patrick Lussier. We said last week that he did the My Bloody Valentine 3D movie. Mike, pardon me. Budget was $40 million and it made $161 million at the worldwide box office. And for 2000, that's pretty damn good for a horror movie. A horror movie that everybody says sucks too, by the way.
True.
Or most people. What was your first experience like with this movie, man?
So I don't remember first experience off the top. So I don't know if you want to dive into kind of just overall thoughts on the movie.
Well, my overall thoughts on this movie is it sucks. It is not good. I don't like the ending. I feel like, honestly, there's so many performers mailing in their performance in this movie. It frustrates the hell out of me. And yet it has arguably my favorite opening of a Scream movie. Although seeing Cotton die was like, fuck, no. I didn't want to lose him. Cotton's my favorite character in Scream for a while. So, it sucked to lose him.
Yeah, we're totally on opposite sides. Because
our scores are going to show that all night long, bud.
Yes. So I really enjoy Scream 3. I like this movie a lot. I love the first 3 Scream movies. I don't like it as much as the past 2 movies that we reviewed, but I absolutely love Scream 3. One thing I do agree with you. I would say one of the things that I actually have a problem with is the fact that they killed Cotton off. Again, it's a good opening scene. I just felt like they could have done a lot with Cotton's character. I like Cotton. I like the way they made his character, where he seems very dark and evil at times, but in the end, like at the end of Scream 2, he turns into a little punk boy where he's submissive to Sydney, and you know what I mean. Like they really built his character up really well, and I just thought that they could have executed him fairly well in this third installment. I thought he would have been a really good character to drive home with. Another thing that I don't like in this movie is fucking Kincaid. Hate the guy. Does not deserve Sidney Prescott, by the way. One of the things I hate about Scream 5, he ends up with Sidney, which I do not like, by the way. I don't like his character at all. I think he's super creepy. It just does not work for me. But other than that, man, I really enjoy the movie. I don't mind the brother aspect as much as other people do. What I hate about it is the way they twist it. I guess the story, and by that I mean I don't like the fact that he was the reason that Billy did what he did in the first movie. Like that just kind of takes away from it all, in my opinion. So I don't like that part, but I love the final battle scene between those two. They kick the shit out of each other. I love Sydney in this movie. Gail Dewey, I feel like, are really good in this movie as well. I actually enjoy Gail and Parker Posey's like chemistry in this movie. I think it's really good. I hate Jennifer in this movie. And again, this movie does have its mistakes, like when Roman is quote unquote dead and Gail checks for his pulse. Like, Gail, what are you doing? Do you know how to check for a pulse? Like, so yeah, you know, it has its problems, but I don't know, man. I've always liked this movie. So, yeah.
Toronto Freddy says, I've not seen Cola Bear yet. Looking forward to XTC Sloth. He also adds in, my buddies and I got kicked out of Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, because we were underage. My dad's ex-wife had purchased the tickets for us. Well, that's cool of her to do that, you know. Tries to give you guys a good time. I like Putty in the movie. If you're a Seinfeld fan, you know who Putty is. He's the bodyguard in the movie. He's very Putty-like.
He is.
So I definitely enjoy him in the movie. I enjoy the whole that whole house where they're staying, the pool, the house exploding. I dug that scene.
You mean
Yes.
the Halloween H2O house?
Yeah, that one.
Oh,
No, sorry, not that one. No, where the that's the end one.
Where the house explodes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I dig that. I dig the setting. Um, other than that, man, I really don't have much good to say about this movie.
Come on, man. Give Roman his props, man. He's the only one single killer in all of the Scream movies, and he was able to pull off what he pulled off. Come on, man.
But did he pull it off alone, or was everybody else dead by the time the movie got here?
Yeah, that's true too.
I don't know. I dig. I've seen that actor in different shows. He's in Scandal.
Oh my God, he's so good in Scandal.
Yeah, he is.
Man.
He's been in other things too. Like his performance is fine in it, but I don't know, man. Just this movie, like when you look at the quality of 1 and 2, I felt like this one just fell off a fucking cliff.
Well, I love this movie, man. So whatever. Okay.
Switch things up here a bit today and do it a little differently. We are tight on time tonight, so these are condensed. We'll have Mike's favorite Scream movie next week, Scream 5.
All right, come on, man.
And then I think the plan is after we see the movie Thursday night, we're probably going to hop on here for 30 to 45 minutes and give a review.
I have an early show time, 5:30.
I will do my best to get something early-ish, but I'm not even home from work at that time.
No, I mean, no, you're fine. It's really weird. Usually they show like a 5:30 and a 7:30, but all the 7:30s they're showing are in 3D, and I'm not going to go see this movie in 3D, so I'm going to have to do the 5:30 one. I'm going to have to make it work.
Yeah, I have no interest in seeing this movie in 3D. It didn't bother me for Titanic, but I have no doubt the visual quality of this movie is not that of Titanic. So, yeah. Scream 4, directed by Wes Craven, written by Kevin Williamson, based on characters by Kevin Williamson, produced by Wes Craven, starring David Arquette, Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, Emma Roberts, and Hayden Panettiere. Is it Panettiere or Panettiere?
I say Panettiere.
Panettiere. Okay. Cinematography was done by one Peter Deming. Budget for this movie was $40 million, made $97.2 million at the box office, which is a pretty big fall off from, I think that might have been just the American amount too. There's no way it only made 97 worldwide, did it? I got to check that out now.
That's pretty low. Maybe why it took them so long to come out with the 5th one.
Yeah, just bought. Oh no, never mind. So like, this movie basically broke even. So, at a $40 million budget, that does not include marketing. That does not include the theater's cut. You're looking at basically breaking even, maybe making a few $1,000,000, which is definitely not what they made the movie for. Scream 4, Mike, to my understanding, judging by the scores that I've seen, I know we didn't give our scores for 3 yet. We're going to give all of our scores at the end so we can have some fun bouncing back and forth because of just how they turned out. Mike, your hate for Scream 4 and why? Dish.
I think it's straight garbage. Listen, it's I don't know how to explain it, man. Like I don't really connect with any of these characters outside of the core 3. And that sucks. Again, I think the core 3 are really good in this movie. Maybe a little better than they were in 3, honestly. But like they focus a lot on other characters in Scream 4, and none of them really hit for me at all. I'm not a fan of Jill. Just do not like her character. I do like Kirby, so I will give the movie that. I do like her character. But I gotta be honest with you, man. I do not like the kills in this movie at all, really. Like, I just think they're outside of one. I'm just not a fan of them. I don't like the killers. I have a big problem with just the way that this movie was shot in general. Like on screen, it looks like super glossy and super weird. Like it doesn't look good to me. And the thing with Jill, what sucks is, from what I remember, Jill was the one that really shocked me about being the killer. Like that, like out of all the Scream movies, I would say that she is the one. Like the killer reveal for her was good in my opinion, because I didn't see that happening with her. I thought that they built around that to where I didn't guess that. The problem that I have with that is, for the most part, it looks like this movie, like like in every scene, Ghostface is supposed to be the other killer, the guy, the movie club guy, because I remember when, the guy reveals himself and puts the knife to Sydney's neck, and Sydney gets away and she's running down the hall towards the front door. Jill pops out and stabs her in the stomach. That's exactly when I knew who it was, because I don't know if it's the camera angle or what the hell it was, but you can 1000% tell that it was Jill in that suit, in that Ghostface costume, because of the height. Like it was a significant, like you can significantly tell it was Jill and a very short person in that scene, but you cannot tell it at all throughout the entire movie. It just did not seem real to me. I don't know, man. Just the lack of connection with the characters outside of the core three, I think just really didn't do it for me, man. I don't know. I've seen this movie plenty of times. I've tried to go back. I've tried to really like this movie. I've tried to love this movie, and it's just not there for me, man. So, yeah, I'm just not a fan. And it has its following, which is great. I mean, again, I love when everybody, love your movie. If you love it, you love it. But there is a big following for Scream 4.
When the cop from Blackish dies, I know people will be like, that's stupid. I was fucking dying hilariously when that happened. When he gets the knife in the head.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Bruce Willis.
Yeah. I just fucking died. I know it's probably a mood ruiner for some people, but I enjoyed it a lot.
And last two things that I'll say. Another character that I hate in this movie. Basically, I just hate everybody outside of the three. Like, let's be honest. I'm sorry, Heath. I totally disagree with your statement. I respect it, but I was just about to say that it is the absolute. This movie is by far one of the worst opening scenes I have ever seen. Not only to a Scream movie, not only to a horror movie, but one of the worst opening scenes I have ever seen in a movie. Period. It is terrible. It is fucking terrible.
On that, actually, I think it's weird because the beginning of the movie and the ending of the movie, I don't know, I don't like, but everything in the middle I can live with. The question is, though, what do each and every one of you in the live audience and the audience listening after the fact, what do you score? Whoops, showed those scores a little too quick. What do you score Scream 3 out of 10 for each one of these categories? A total score of 50. If you get 50 out of 50, you're perfect. Story and pacing, acting, cinematography, writing and directing, and sound and score. Let's pull up the scores for Scream 3. Mike gave it an 8 for story and pacing. I gave it a 6. Mike gave it a 7.5 for acting. I gave it a 6. Mike and I both went 7 with cinematography. An 8 for Mike in writing and directing. I gave it a 5. And Mike gave it a 7 for sound and score. I gave it a 5.
You didn't score it as bad as I thought you were going to.
No, I try to be as fair as I possibly can and just give the scores that I think make sense while comparing them to the other scores we've given so far. So,
well, yeah, I was about to say, I guess that makes sense, because I think I would. We haven't jumped. Yeah, never mind. I'll save that for next week.
And then we have Scream 4 scores where Mike gave story and pacing a 4.5. I gave it a 6.5. Mike gave acting a 6. I gave it a 7.5. Mike gave cinematography a 5. I gave it an 8. Writing and directing was a 5 for Mike, a 6.5 for me. Sound and score was a 5 for Mike, a 6 for me. We almost took the movies and basically flipped them when you looked at our scores.
Yeah, that's true. Which I didn't think that was going to happen, because I honestly thought that you were going to score Scream 3 a little higher, because I know you were never a big fan of Scream 3. Yeah, fuck Deputy Judy. I don't know. I thought you were going to score Scream 3 a little higher, because I know how much you hate Scream 4. Like, I've heard you like straight up demolished it. But again, it's not always based on that, and we've talked about that.
Yeah, I think quality of movie is important when you're looking at the categories that we use to do our scores. What does it give us overall? It gives Scream 3 a 75% from Mike, 58 for me, giving us a total score of 66.5%. And then Scream 4 is 51% from Mike, 69% from me, a total of 60%, giving Scream 3 the edge, 66.5 to 60%. Mike, does any of this surprise you at all?
I would say that I was kind of shocked that Scream 4 I rated way lower than what you did. But I guess, again, to your point, you can kind of flip. I mean, really just flip the movies. So I would say that's probably the only thing. I thought you would be kind of right around my area for Scream 4. I knew we would differ on Scream 3 because I like Scream 3 a lot, and I know you don't. But at least for Scream 4, I thought we'd be a little closer.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we try to be as honest as we can about our scores and see what we get. You guys are probably wondering why the hell the outro music's playing. Well, it's simple. The show's over. Mike and I are both under the weather and not feeling well and sore and all sorts of other things. I'm going to be as open and transparent as I can be here. I'm moving away, and temporarily anyway. We're not going to have very good internet coverage out there because it's a little bit in the sticks. Just certain things you got to do for family. And it's a new chapter for us. And then we hope to be back into a more civilized area in half a year or so. But we're still going to do the show. We'll have to wait and see how many shows we can live stream. Certainly try to once in a while, but there's a good bet that a lot of our shows moving forward will probably be around that 1 hour time mark and probably be pre-produced. We'll try to do live streams, but that's just the realism of the situation we're in. Mike, what do you got going that's coming up soon, dude?
Again, just kind of wrapping up the road to Scream 6. Only a week away, really. 2 episodes dropping. Our review on Scream 4 and 5 on Monday, and then we'll obviously be reviewing Scream 6. So that's about it, man. Also,
I see a couple of them in the chat. Toronto Freddy, Kenny, George. I know you guys have all messaged me. There's a situation at home that has basically made me shut out most of the outside world. I've seen the messages. I will get back to you as soon as I can, which will be over the next week or two. We're just trying to finalize something, and until that certain thing gets finalized, it's kind of taken all of our attention at the moment. So not ignoring everybody or anybody. It's kind of spread thin at the moment. So big thanks to everybody for the support. Cocaine Bear is awesome. Go see it. Go check it out. Support a movie like that. It's great. Scream 6 is next week. Lots of stuff coming. Brand new Halloween video up on our Patreon, patreon.com/Phantom Empire. Big shout out to our channel sponsors that make this show possible. Mr. Matt Whitfield, who needs a new sponsor card. Backtrack Cinema with Mr. Jason Knight. Our man, Chris C _78. You need work done on a Myers mask? Go check him out. He's the guy to see. And our buddy, Jesse, Bunce Force Trauma, Tasty Treat Master at yahoo.com, soundcloud.com/Bunce Force Trauma, and Facebook /Bunce Force Trauma. For Mike, I'm Shawn. Have a great fucking week. And don't go to room 237. Bad things happen.